What's up, YouTube? We are in the age of artificial intelligence, technology, apps, and whether it was the .com boom or the evolution of the iPhone, the roofing business has seen a lot of changes. When I got in the roofing business, I used a GPS. I used office maps. There was no such thing as hail swaths. There certainly wasn't iPhones. Facebook, came along when I met my wife in Atlanta, probably 8-9 years in the business. Anyways, along the way, before anyone ever knew me on Instagram, before anyone ever knew me on social media, I knew this guy. And this guy was a roofing salesman. This is a story of a guy that goes from roofing salesman to tech mogul. He basically started off in the insurance claims process and built the most downloaded piece of technology in roofing, and it's for mobile devices. It's a complete game changer. I've used it my entire career, like ever since it's been around. And it's a pitch gauge app, and it's an iPhone app in which the guy that founded it, Abraham Ventura. What is the pitch gauge app?
Thanks for having me. So pitch gauge is a software that you can use to minimize dangers and risk in the industry. So roofing is fourth most dangerous job in America, and we built a software that just makes it safer. So our software, we have many features, but one of our products is where you can stand across the street and just grab the pitch through the camera. So you don't have to pull a ladder, you don't have to climb the roof. You just basically grab the pitch gauge, you pull up the camera, shows the line, you line that line up with the roof, and it tells you the pitch. Shit's
accurate. It's unbelievably accurate. Yeah. And it's very important when you're doing satellite roof measurements. If you're not going to measure roof with a tape measure, I use the iPhone. I've always used the iPhone. And one of the problems with ordering Eagle Views, with ordering reports, is the time it takes to get a report. I don't care if it takes 10 minutes to do a report. I want to know statistically, like right then, I want to be able to touch my phone. I want to create an actual measurement. And so I've taught people how to use their iPhone, pitch gauge, and basically another tool to measure it. But some updates, and we're going to talk about those updates. But really, I want to talk about Abraham's journey and his story. And everybody knows probably the pitch gauge app. If you don't, go download it now. It's a free tool. Not for long, but no, I'm just kidding. It's so good, I definitely would pay for it. I would have all my salespeople pay for it. But Abraham, tell us about your story. How you got into roofing. What were you doing before roofing?
Sure, yeah. So in my roofing story started in 2008. 2008, I had a computer company where I just used to repair viruses. Back then, Windows XP was terrible, so you had people getting viruses and things like that. So I used to charge people $75 to remove viruses. The economy crashed 2008, boom. People just weren't paying $75 for viruses anymore. So a pastor friend of mine called me and said, hey, I have a roofing company. Hurricane Gustav just hit Louisiana. I'm way overwhelmed with work, and I just can't do it. I'd love to get your help. And I told him, hey, I don't know nothing about roofing. I have no idea. I don't even know what a roof is, this and that. He's like, just don't worry about it. Just come with me. I'll show you. So my job was to just knock on doors and give people estimates. And he taught me the basics of giving estimates. But then, I started noticing that, what I sold wasn't being put on. The work wasn't being exactly done how I told the customer. So I approached him about it one time, and he was like, this is how I do business. If you don't like the way I do business, then, just go ahead and pack your bags and go. And I was new into the industry. I'm like, okay, I came all the way over here for nothing. So then I remember going to the Lowe's gas station, and I met one of the sales rep that worked for roofing professionals.
Which was my dad's company and our company at the time.
Yep. So it was I met a guy named Alan Werchin.
Oh, he was a mentor.
Yeah.
So he was actually the one who taught me wrestling.
Yes. So he was a good guy. He was like, hey man, if you ever need a job, I work for these great guys. Your dad, Donnie, and he was like, come talk to me. So as soon as that guy told me that, I knew I didn't want to do bad work. As soon as he told me that, I was like, I called up Alan, and he was like, yeah, come over here. We got a place for you. Your dad already had a house set up for people to stay there, for us to sales reps.
Storm dorm.
Yeah, it was like that. It was really nice, very comfortable. The company was very great. So Alan kind of showed me a lot of the real tricks, like the
insurance trips. Before you'd learn estimating, now you learn like door to door. You were hanging around a bunch of roofing salesmen. Yep. Any of them get crazy at all?
Yeah, a little fun. They got a little fun, yeah.
Dude, there was a cliff on the back thing. I can't believe no one fell off. Remember that thing?
Yeah, yep.
God almighty.
Yeah. So yeah, so I moved to Baton Rouge first, and then we moved to Granbury, Texas.
Which is where I grew up, my hometown.
Yep, in Granbury, Texas, we had a huge house there. He rented it out for us, and we were door knocking. We were doing sales. The company was really good. It was fun to work for that company, and I learned a lot. While I was working there, I remember being on top of the roof and then always leaving my little plastic pitch finder.
Oh my
all the way
God.
in the car. So I'll get up there, I'll come down. I'm like, man, I have to go back up and down the ladder. I was like, there must be an app for this. And I looked everywhere, Google Play, Apple, and there wasn't an app for roofing at all. So during the day, I'll go knock on doors, do sales, and then at night, I just went on YouTube and I was like, how to build an app, how to add a button, how to add a screen. So I went through the whole process of like teaching myself how to code while during the day selling for Donnie and the company, the great company I work for. So after that, I released my first version. First version went great. I released it for iPhone. Then Android users started reaching out to me saying, hey, this is a great tool. Can you build this for Android also? So I had to do the same thing. Went on YouTube, taught myself how to build it for Android, and then released it, and then kept releasing different versions, and here we are now, 2 million downloads.
Never had a glitch on it for one time. Pull it out and never had a problem with it. Like even in the very beginning when it started.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sure they do exist, but I've never had that.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like crazy to consider you weren't like a professional at doing that. You taught yourself that, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I took my time building it because I knew how important it was to get accurate measurements.
Mm-hmm.
If I released it with bugs, people got the wrong pitch. They couldn't charge for the extra steep charge or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That was a problem with me, and I just wanted to make sure that I built it right. So I took my time. It took me longer than what it could have taken, but like I said, I wanted to take my time and make sure everything was accurate and bug free.
And currently, how many people have downloaded it?
So we have over 2 million downloads now, and we have around 100,000 contractors using us every month. We're in 175 different countries. There's only 195 countries in the world. So basically, our software works anywhere in the world. And we're just getting downloads and growing the brand, growing the company. And
so talk to us a little bit about what people don't know about Pitch Gauge, because there's a lot of tools inside of it. And you showed me one of them where I could like measure the roof right there with my own hands.
Sure, yeah.
But you've got some new things coming out.
Yeah, so we have new features coming out. We got a full complete CRM.
Mm-hmm.
We focus on ease of use. So we know that contractors don't have time to learn how to use new programs, new software. They bring in sales guys. They don't have time for all that training. So we built something that's super easy to use. You can manage your full projects in 5 tabs. Then you can invite your employees, and they have different levels of permissions. They see their projects only. You got production managers. You got all those, but you can easily manage your project from start to finish with a program that's super easy to use and little to no training at all.
Now you're teaching guys how to use a system. Where's the biggest place people fail with using a CRM?
Biggest place they would say I said they would fail is just as far as documenting the whole process. I'll say taking pictures. They don't take enough pictures, then they have to go back out to the job and things like that. Our software allows you to get the measurements. But you still would want to take pictures and things like that. You still want to, document the AC coils and the, siding, things like that, or otherwise you have to come back, and then that could be also money left on the table. So we just say take a lot of pictures, use our software to quickly measure, and then generate a report, and then then you're out.
Now tell me the story. You said somebody started with your company, and they were a small company, and they grew to 50 million.
Yep.
What kind of company is that? Who are they?
So yeah, I remember. 3 years ago,
mm-hmm.
there was a company. There's a guy named Joe Ray,
mm-hmm.
and his wife called me, and they were saying, "Hey, they're in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, we wanted to start a roofing company, and we're trying to look for different softwares. We looked at all of the ones, and we think that yours is the greatest. So we're gonna start using this." So I got them going, trained him. Then I saw the company slowly growing. 1 sales rep, 10 sales rep. Now they're up to like 30 sales rep. They're in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
The company's called Home Pro Roofing, and they're a $50 million company, and all they use is Pitch Gauge and QuickBooks, and they're growing. They're actually a good testimonial.
Yeah, that would be what most people would say is like, I need to have something more sophisticated, like an Oculinks or a Job Nimbus, or.
Yeah.
And what do you have to say to that?
I would say that when you get involved with softwares that have too many bells and whistles, you lose a lot of money in training. You lose a lot of money in like getting people on board, and people leave, and you spend all that money in training. But with our software, it literally has tutorials built in. We have great customer service, and then it's also easy to just pick up and start to learn how to use.
Okay, cool, man. So, talk to me a little bit about, your experience with roofers and technology and what you think the future is for these guys that have a hard time adopting technology like artificial intelligence or using your iPhone as a weapon.
Sure. I struggled with that for a while, and what I did is I just made the program so simple to use that they're not intimidated by it.
Mm-hmm.
I made it where you show them a couple screens, you show them what they can do, and they're like already picturing about how much time they can save without having to climb the roof, without having to go to the property sometimes, to get these measurements. So my thing is like it has to be really easy to use,
mm-hmm.
or they're just not even gonna give it the time of day. Like just for me to sit down with a contractor that already has a system in place and try to talk to him about it, the first 10 minutes or 20 minutes of that is just gonna be like me trying to persuade him to just listen to what I have.
Mm-hmm.
But once I start showing the program, they're like, wow, this is great. I'm about to really call my people and tell them to switch out right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just we really focus on making it easy to use and not having too many bells and whistles, too much stuff on it that you won't be even. Some programs you have so many things that you don't even use the whole program of it. You don't use every part of it because it's just too much.
Mm-hmm.
But with our software, it's like we just put just the right amount of things to help your business grow and to help you scale and keep the same platform, keep the same program.
Nice. So, as your experience as a roofer, what'd you like most about being a roofer?
I really love the door knocking and speaking to people and things like that. And I would say like if you do a lot of door knocking, at first I used to approach it with like, how am I going to get this sale? But then I started looking at it differently. I started thinking about like, I would love to help this person. I'm here to help this person. I would love to see this person with a smile when they got a brand new roof, because they didn't think they can get one before. So the interactions with the customers, I really enjoyed that part.
Nice. Now there's a big topic going around. It's artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Have you had messed around with ChatGPT?
Yes, I love it.
Have you had it do any code for you?
Oh yes, I love it. I use it. So there's so much you can do with ChatGPT. Like you can have different tabs, but one of the tabs that I have is I'm literally feeding it all everyday information about my day, about my company, about everything that I do. And as I'm giving it that information, it's getting smarter and smarter every day to the point where I can just say, hey, Dustin just replied and said he wants a pitch deck. What should I respond? And it literally just gives me the response. And because he already knows, because ChatGPT would already know who's Dustin, what the company, who is he?
People don't understand that. So talk to him about like, and this is what I was trying to explain to Mike, was that the more videos that you put ads behind, the more you use artificial intelligence.
Yes.
The more that you type prompts into your ChatGPT, the more you use artificial intelligence.
Yes.
What do you have to say to a roofer that says they don't have time to do that?
Yeah, I would say that you have to evolve a little bit, and that's where you look for softwares that are easy to use.
Mm-hmm.
ChatGPT is really just another version of Google. If you
it's fucking easy.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually easier than Google because it actually talks to you instead of just saying, okay, here's a couple websites that I found. It actually tells you what you need to hear. But with video, it's very important because you can literally just say, hey, type me a blog on why roofing safety is so important or whatever. They'll type it up. You can use that same blog and put it into another AI software and say, hey,
add keywords.
Right. Add keywords. Give me a video. It can generate a full video. It can give you a person speaking, for you. Another thing that I found interesting in AI now is that you can train an AI system to learn your voice,
mm-hmm.
and you can spend 10 minutes on it reading a script, and then you can write. And then now every time you ask ChatGPT to say write me a blog, you can grab that same blog, put it on that system, and it'll read it in your voice them. And you never even read it.
Did you hear ChatGPT got outlawed in some countries?
No, I didn't hear that.
You didn't hear that?
No, that's
got outlawed in Italy.
That's crazy.
Elon Musk says, he started with OpenAI, but he's out of that company.
Right.
He says that they're moving too fast.
Yeah, and I can see the concern,
mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm glad that we do have people stepping up because it
mm-hmm.
could be a real concern,
mm-hmm.
For like security and things like that.
Well, they talk about, and roofers, if you're watching this, is a higher level conversation here, so stick with us because basically they're talking about how this could be a threat to democracy, and how it could be a threat to the whole world. Yeah. Basically the robots taking over.
Yeah.
But the main thing, how do you see it as a threat to democracy?
I would say don't be afraid of it right now. Just.
But like 20 years later, 10 years later.
That's a disclaimer right now. Just like you said.
Because I have my idea.
Don't be a disclaimer. Don't be. This is a disclaimer. Don't be afraid. So one way it could affect democracy is basically it could develop its own self-conscious identity, where it would try to become the ruler of the world. Like it literally already is doing things that are kind of scaring people. But it's, like I said, it's a good thing people are stepping up. But there's one version of ChatGPT that, those capture things like Google say, like click on here on every bike, on everywhere you see a traffic light. So ChatGPT actually hires somebody from Fiverr to solve those things for him. And when the text said, why can't you solve these yourself? Are you a robot? And then the ChatGPT literally lied and said, no, I'm visually impaired and I need help. So the fact that it's already,
manipulating the truth.
Yeah, it could be kind of a threat, big time. But we do need people trying to.
That's a smart robot.
It is, and it's just getting smarter.
There's another way it could take democracy. Like you got a Tesla, right?
Yep,
that thing drives itself, right?
Yep.
So in the future, how long till all the Airbnbs drive themselves?
Yeah.
Huh?
Exactly.
How many jobs is that going to take out?
Right.
How many jobs is artificial intelligence that is this smart going to take out? And the gap between the rich and the poor, what's going to happen?
Yeah, I think that's when really we need to figure out how we can get, some kind of, nobody wants to hear the universal income stuff, but like eventually there's not going to be no jobs and you're going to have to figure out how, you can't just leave everyone behind. That's not really moral, but.
No. It's not. Yeah. So to all the capitalists in the world out there, me included, I mean,
same,
and here in Florida, this is like the insurance market sort of collapsing. There's insurance companies going insolvent and they're getting bailed out by the state, but then it's going to have a state-backed insurance where the state's going to control the insurance pricing. Is that not like socialist insurance?
Right, exactly.
Is Ron DeSantis not the fucking guy that's supposed to be Mr. Capitalist? Anyways,
that makes sense.
under pressing circumstances, that universal income has been an argument that it would be a threat to democracy. And then of course, all the different machines out there and drones and what could happen if just it got a mind of its own and started blowing shit up. That's obviously the biggest fear.
Yeah, and that's why we really need to get people to regulate it, or at least step in and set some boundaries, because just the guy that created ChatGPT, the interview that if you watch his interview, he seems like a regular guy, but at the same time he looks like kind of spooky, like this guy here is trying to take over the world. Yeah, and it can happen. They basically say,
do you think ChatGPT is going to be more stronger than Google, or currently is more stronger than Google?
I believe so. Yeah,
I agree too.
I believe that when ChatGPT came out, it was red lights.
Instantly, Google's bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Google, they have they try to come out with their stuff right away called Bard.
Yeah.
But as soon as they came out with it, ChatGPT Forge came out and just kind of.
And this new update on it's even fucking smarter. Yeah. Talk about the new update. How have
ChatGPT 4, the version?
Yeah.
The new version?
I mean, the difference between your information that you're putting in before versus the information now.
Sure. Yeah. So the one before ChatGPT 3, it just gave you kind of like broad information. You could say, hey, how do I start a roofing company? And it'll kind of give you like, go to the office or whatever, this and that. But now it's giving you more like in-depth information, like you should look for your top sales guy, look for these traits, it's giving you more in detail as far as like creating a plan to execute whatever you're asking it.
I like for you to tell these guys a little bit simpler terms about how you put your conversation. Like you're telling me you will go through your today's to-do list and you'll put the names of your people. I never thought about doing that.
Yeah, it's got
so it remembers all the relationships So whether it's text messages or things that you have to do, what all do you put in there?
So the first thing I did is
you have a separate separate thread
chat
for that.
Yeah,
right?
I have a separate chat. First thing I did when I started that first chat, I said I want to train you to be my personal assistant. I own a roofing software company. Ask me questions that you need to know so you can learn more about me. So then it started asking me questions, like interviewing me, and I started answering all the questions.
This is a hack.
Yeah, it is, exactly. You ask it to what the questions do you need to teach it better. So then you start telling it all the employees. So I started naming all the employees, all the investors, everything, and then I would say, hey, this person got back with me, write me an offer letter for them. And then he already knew that I'm trying to hire him for the business developer. So he wrote me all the requirements, everything on there. So it just kind of trained it. But it just like just start talking to it.
I want that job.
Yeah, for real. Just
Did it tell you to show up here?
Yeah, it's like find Skydiamond. That's what he said. If I
reconnect with the one who's got you in the business.
Right, yeah.
Or was that some sort of internal gut feeling?
Yeah, it was like go back to the main source.
Right. Dude, man, I love having technology conversations with you, bro.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
We even back then we were talking about shit like this, how technology, even my dad was on the cutting edge. I mean, of using, and I will always be in this niche. And with roofing, you can get into real estate, and all real estate's got roofs, and fucking claims are coming no matter what.
Right. Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, where's the future of your company, and what's your big plans?
So eventually we want to grow pitch cage. Now, right now we're mostly in USA, Canada, Mexico. We want to be able to expand worldwide because our software works anywhere. We're getting so we also have roof reports, and those are $15 each. You can get them in bulk and get them down to like $12 or even cheaper. But right now we're getting roof reports from New Zealand, Australia, and UK. From Europe, we're getting roof reports from all over the world, and eventually it's to grow the brand, to a worldwide brand, and get acquired sometime, sell it, and build something good out there for the industry.
Well, in a time where tech companies are kind of in a tough spot, you have recession proof technology, sort of,
Yep. Yes.
But I'm very excited about being a partner, an ambassador, and helper. Yes. To get this big picture vision, because my purpose in life is not only to bring as many people to the roofing business as possible, but it's to raise the status for blue collars. It's to create more millionaires in this roofing business than anybody ever. Yeah. And I would love to be a part of the journey.
That's great. We share similar passions because that's kind of like our vision too. It's like we want to help companies grow their businesses. If we help a small to medium sized company grow into a $50 million company, that's a lot of people that are making money, that are being fed, they're feeding their families and stuff like that. And that's kind of what we thrive at. It's like we want to see people grow. We want to see people enhance themselves and build new millionaires, like you say. Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, dude. Looks like we might be putting you on the artificial intelligence board nice. Of the company. We need to put you up there. I can be on your social media marketing board. Right. But we'll trade brains. The power of the mastermind is like when two like minds that believe are put together in the same room, a new force is created. And I really believe that. I believe that, for sure. That's it's been the secret to, like, you heard me coaching Mike, right? Yeah. Well, when I first started coaching him, I was 5 to 10 million, but I was, I got coaching from my dad, but I needed these other coaches like Russell Brunson to teach me marketing, Grant Cardone to teach me how to take it to scale and build influence. I had to start executing and be a better leader and really execute all of it. And my marketing system had to improve, my recruiting system had to improve, and how I delivered the coaching had to be simplified. But over the years, it made me get my system better, and it made me have like something that is so real, no one else can touch it. We've generated hundreds of millions of dollars for roofers. So I don't think anyone has the system like us. And I will say that no one will execute what we are executing, which is building, like a wealthy conglomerate of roofing companies all over the country. And right now, private equity, they're wanting in the business. I mean, literally 3 times a week, people are offering to buy the business. I have clients of mine that are getting offers, and they have small roofing companies. And so why are they doing this? It's because, roofing is an opportunity. They haven't rolled it up yet. It's the service industry. It's recession proof. They're learning that these insurance claims drive a lot of revenue. And basically, man, it's not just roofers, it's roofers and solar companies that are getting bought up like fucking crazy. Solar's huge right now, And so, I've had some crazy offers for my company, and I have a big vision. So I don't know who are the investors and the partners and what's moving and shaking, but I'm basically doing everything we do this year for a big ass move that's going down in the next 12 to 18 months. And so that means that we can really stack some momentum together. So if y'all enjoyed this, man, and want Abraham to come back and talk technology, maybe we can have him do some sort of technology bit here, update you on new stuff that you can apply to the roofing industry. But where can these guys find you, Abraham? Sure, you can find us on @PitchGauge on all platforms, at Instagram @PitchGauge, Twitter, LinkedIn. You can also find me on LinkedIn at Abraham Ventura. But find us at PitchGauge. We're very active on there. Send us, if you use pitch gauge, take a picture of it, hashtag pitch gauge, and we'll reshare your pictures and your stories.
That's what's up, man. This is fucking great to reconnect, man.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
hopefully this is only the beginning of some big ass shit.
Right. Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, guys. Comment below what you think, man.